Hi, it's me again. I wanted to make a video today about socialization and home education. This is a question that comes up so often. People are interested in home educating, but then they think, what about socialization? How will my children socialize? How will they interact with others if they don't spend most of their time in school or, like most children do? So, my approach to this question is first to discuss socialization in a school setting, then in a home education setting, and then to contrast the two a little bit. So, when you think about socialization in a schooled environment, what when I think about it, I think of people that are in all the same age group being almost forced to interact with each other, which is not exactly unrealistic. In some parts of our lives, we are forced to interact with others. So just because they are interacting with others doesn't mean that they're necessarily building good friendships. Also, when you look back at your own experiences in school, not many friendships last for a lifetime. There are some exceptions to this. I know my grandmother, she had a best friend from when she was in first grade, and they were friends all of their lives. But this doesn't happen for everyone. That's not the main point. That was just an aside. But the point is, it's a forced interaction of social groups of children of the same age, all the same age, in big groups. This doesn't give them practice to interact regularly with adults, except for their teachers, and children of other ages, except for their siblings, perhaps. So they don't really get to interact regularly with various age groups. Yes, they are with other children most of their day, and I will admit that. So socializing and socialization in a home educated setting is different, because obviously you are spending most of your time with your family. You're at home some of the time, but not always. When you home educate, you need to prioritize socialization and not shy away from it. You need to make sure that your children are socializing. Sorry, I can't get the word out today. So you should pursue things like clubs in your local area, be it scouts, guides, dance classes, drama groups, home education groups, even if it's just a social meetup. I know one thing we do is we schedule regular meetups with other home educated families, and we meet in the afternoon, in the early afternoon, maybe at a park before things get busy with other people visiting the park. So we have the park almost to ourselves, and it's fantastic. So you schedule those things in, you make sure you prioritize them. The other thing that I would say is that when you are dealing with home education and socialization, you'll notice that children will be forced, instead of being forced to spend time with many other children that are all the same age, instead they'll be forced, or it will just naturally happen, that they will spend time with children of various ages, all different ages, getting to learn how to interact and be courteous and kind to people that are either older or younger than themselves, learning what those different stages are like, maybe being the one to help the younger ones to learn a game, or just teach them how to be part of a team. So it's good for all ages, really, because it teaches you compassion and empathy and how to get along with others with various abilities. Also, the home educated students that I've come across are usually very good at communicating with adults, because they've spent time with other people's parents and other adults in a more casual environment more often, because they don't go to school. They just go to groups like this, and then they do their studying at home or in tutor groups. And so they are confident usually to speak to adults on their own, or just to be confident to speak for themselves, which is great. Another thing I would say is that I've already said this, but it teaches them to be very inclusive, I think, to to let younger kids play with them, you know, or just to work with other people of all different abilities. Now I wanted to contrast the two, or just point something out, because people, especially people who have children in school, will very often negatively say to people that home educate, you know, oh, your children aren't being socialized, or have you not thought about socialization? Your children are going to be so isolated. I want you to think about this, if that's come across to you, or if you've even said that yourself. Think about the school setting itself and its purpose. Its purpose is academic, all right? So the children are there not primarily to socialize. That's a secondary purpose. The first purpose is for them to gain their education, their academic education. So really that needs to be the main focus. And how much actual socialization happens when they have to be quiet and all sitting, you know, facing the teacher, or in whatever way being, you know, not really interacting often except when allowed. So you know, there's limited socialization really in that setting, I would say. Also, it's a very artificial setting in my opinion, because when you finally leave the academic world, as far, you know, whether you go to the end of secondary school or you go further to university, when you finish that and you move forward to the real world, the world of work and interacting with your neighbors on a regular basis and just being part of a community as an adult, you don't just spend time with people that are in your age bracket as you would when you are in school. You have to interact with people at work of various backgrounds, various ages, different stages of life, and you have to learn to get along and communicate well with them. So you shouldn't really just be practicing this interaction with your own age group and think that that is enough. So I think we could really play on the idea and put forth the benefit of home education and socialization, because people learn to socialize in a more natural way with other families, with children of various ages, being instructed by other adults that they trust, and it can be a really wonderful thing. So if you have any questions, please put something in the comments and I'll try to make it a part of my next video. Bye.